Hello students, welcome you all to my YouTube channel Thermal Engineering by Manoj Shindre. In the today's video lecture, we will see the numerical on steam turbines and of course the second type of numerical, that is on two-stage impulse turbine. Okay, so these types of numericals are very important from your external examination point of view. Okay, so let us read the problem carefully. The velocity of steam at the exit of nozzle is 440 meter per second, which is compounded in impulse turbine. IT stands for impulse turbine. By passing successively through the moving, fixed, and finally through the second ring of moving blades. The tip angle for moving blade throughout the turbine is 30 degrees. Assume the loss of 10% in velocity due to friction when the steam passes over the blade rings. Find the velocity of moving blade in blade ring. Okay, find the velocity of moving blade in order to have final discharge of steam as axial. Determine the diagram efficiency. Okay, so after reading the problem carefully, the first step in solving the two-stage impulse turbine is that we have to draw the flow diagram, how the steam flows from the nozzle up to the end of or up to the last row of moving blades that we need to sketch. Okay, okay, fine. So this is the nozzle. Next we have the set of moving blades. Next fixed blades, and finally we have the set of moving blades. Right. Alpha 1 is the angle for nozzle. This is the moving blade, the row of moving blade. This is the fixed blades, and this will be the moving blade. Nozzle angle alpha 1. For moving blades, we have the angle beta 1 and beta 2, which is inlet and outlet respectively. For fixed blade, again, we have to use alpha. So already we have written alpha 1 here. So for fixed blade, the inlet angle is alpha 2 and alpha 3. Similarly, for moving blades, we have to use again beta. So beta 2 is already written, beta 3 and beta 4 here, and beta 4. Okay? Right. The velocity of steam at the exit of nozzle is 440 meter per second. Steam velocity at the exit of nozzle is represented by V1. Steam velocity, that is V1 equals to 440 meter per second. Next, while compounded in impulse turbine, which is compounded in impulse turbine, by passing successfully through moving, fixed, and finally through second ring of moving blades. The tip angle for moving blade throughout the turbine. The tip angle of moving blades throughout the turbine is the same, which is equals to 30 degrees. For the moving blades, we have the tip angle beta 1, beta 2, beta 3, and beta 4. They are equal to 30 degrees. So here, beta 1 is equals to beta 2 is equals to beta 3 is equals to beta 4, which is equals to 30 degrees. Next, assume the loss of 10% in velocity due to the friction. Okay, this is very important sentence. The loss in velocity due to the friction in each row of blade is by 10%. So 100% minus 10%, that is 90% is remaining. So we have to take the blade coefficient as 0.9. The blade coefficient CB equals to, for first row of moving blade, VR2 by VR1. For fixed blade, V3 by V2. And for second row of moving blades, VR4 by VR3. It is equals to 0.9. Due to the friction between steam and the inner surfaces of the blades, so there is a loss of velocity by 10%. So remaining velocity is 90%. So therefore, CB, the blade coefficient, is equals to 0.9. For first row of moving blade, VR2 by VR1. For fixed blade, V3 by V2. And for second row of moving blade, it is VR4 by VR3 here, right? Okay. So Find the velocity of moving rate in order to have the final discharge of steam as axial. So what we need to get here to find the velocity of blade or moving velocity of moving rate. Velocity of moving rate is represented by u. This we need to get. The condition is that in order to have final discharge of steam as axial, with the velocity v4, the steam will leave the last row of moving blade. The steam leaves the last row of moving blade, that is v4. It is axial. Axial in the sense it is equals to vf4. It is equals to vf4. While deriving the equation for the two-stage impulse turbine, the condition for maximum blade efficiency of two-stage impulse turbine, we have written or we have drawn the combined velocity triangle where we have assumed that V4 is equals to VF4 for the maximum blade efficiency. Is that clear? So if V4 is axial means V4 should be vertical. So this is the condition. This is the condition. So here U value is to be calculated. So this is a type 2 problem of two-stage impulse turbine. This is a type 2 problem of two-stage impulse turbine where we have to start the numerical from second stage and we have to end up with the first stage. Is that clear, all of you? Yeah. Okay, fine. Now let us try to draw the rough sketch for combined velocity triangle. Okay, the rough sketch for a combined velocity, the combined velocity triangle for a two-stage impulse turbine. The rough sketch. It is not as per the scale. Okay, so let us draw it. Let us start with the second stage. This is the second stage where U as it is, and we know that in second stage the inlet velocity will be v3, and it has two components, horizontal and vertical component. Vr3 is the relative velocity component of the friction, and its V3's vertical component is Vf3. Just join these 2 points. This is a common base U. Okay, so this is alpha 3, and this is a beta 3 here. This is beta 3. While drawing the outlet velocity triangle for stage 2, you should be very careful because V4 is axial in nature. V4 is axial in nature. So for that, we have to draw a straight line from here by considering Vf4 is equals to V4 and join these 2 points. That will give you Vr4, the relative velocity component Vr4. Clearly, he has mentioned that in order to have the final discharge of steam axial, that means V4 equals to Vf4. This is the condition for maximum blade efficiency. Okay, so that's why we have to start the numerical from second stage because U value is unknown here, right? After this sketch, we can have the two vertical locus from one from this point and another from this point. Okay, so this is a common base U here. This is a common base U. This is V1, the absolute velocity V1, and this will be VR1, the relative velocity component VR1, and this is the VF1, the flow velocity component is VF1. Just join these 2 points. So for V1, the angle is alpha 1, VR1, the angle is beta 1. Okay. The corresponding outlet velocity triangle for first stage is this. This will be VR2, and this is the V2, and the vertical component is VF2. Okay. For V2 the angle is alpha 2, and for VR2 the angle is beta 2. Fine. A, this is B, C, D, this is E, F, this is G, H, I, J, and K here. Fine. This is the first. This is the first stage, and this is the second stage. As U value is unknown, we have to start the numerical from second stage, and then we have to end up with the first stage. Right. So delta VU1 is the algebraic sum of VU1 and VU2, and similarly delta VU2 is the algebraic sum of delta VU3 and VU4. Of course, VU4 is equals to 0 here. This is VU3, and here VU4 is equals to 0. No vertical velocity at the outlet. No vertical velocity at the outlet. If the axial velocity, if the outlet velocity of steam from the last flow of moving blade is axial, in that condition, VU4 will be equals to 0. Okay, so these are very basic things. Now this is VU3, and this will be this is VU1, and this is VU2. And of course, we don't require those things for the calculation purpose. Okay. Now the next step is to draw the complete velocity triangle. The complete velocity triangle on your graph paper. On your graph paper. Okay. Let us see how to draw on graph sheet. So this is the graph sheet here. So let us divide this complete sheet into two halves. As we are starting the numerical from the second stage, just leave 2 centimeters, just leave 1 centimeter from the bottom and start sketching. So first we will draw the diagram for second stage, and next we'll take the locus to draw the diagram for first stage. Okay. Start sketching the graph from the second stage, that is from the bottom. Okay, right. Now let us start sketching the graph. But here we don't know the value of u. We don't know the value of u here. U is unknown. The very previous class we have seen where u value is given. There we have started sketching the graph from first stage and we have completed in the second stage. But here u value is unknown, so that's why we have to start from it the second stage. Okay? Okay, listen here carefully. How to solve this numerical? First listen, and thereafter you can copy. We have to assume the suitable length for u here. We have to assume the suitable length for u here. Let me take u equals to 3 centimeter. Let me take u equals to 3 centimeter. Okay, 3 centimeter. So ij is the 3 centimeter. Ij is 3 centimeter. Now here we know the value of beta 4. We know the value of beta 4, that is equals to 30 degrees. And j to k, it is vertical line. J to k is vertical line. Just take a vertical line here. I don't know the length of this jk. I don't know the length. Just simply draw a vertical line. Now we know the angle beta 4. We know the angle beta 4. Keep the protractor on point I and measure the angle in counterclockwise direction. That is beta 4 equals to 30 degrees. Beta 4 equals to 30 degrees. Okay. So just take the line here. That is beta 4 equals to 30 degrees. And where it cuts, the point where it cuts, that will be the point K. That will be the point K. Is that clear, all of you? Yes? Okay. Now this is, of course, VR4 here. This is, of course, VR4. This is the beta 4. This is the beta 4. Now from graph, we have to take from graph. Just measure from graph. Just measure what is VR4 here. So VR4, the dimension for VR4 is in terms of centimeters. So VR4 is 3.5 centimeter. VR4 is 3.5 centimeters. And you know the ratio VR4 by VR3 equals to 0.9. So we know that VR4 by VR3 equals to 0.9, which implies VR3 equals to VR4 by 0.9, which implies VR3 equals to VR4 by 0.9. So VR3 equals to, just substitute VR4 is 3.5 divided by 0.9. The value of VR3 is The value of VR3 is 3.89 centimeter. 3.89. This is in centimeters. Okay, fine. Now here we know the angle beta 3 and we know the dimension for VR3. So VR3 anyhow emerging from point I here. So keep the protractor on point I and measure the angle beta 3 in clockwise direction, because beta 3 is in clockwise direction here. Okay, so VR3 with respect to horizontal is in clockwise direction. So beta 3 is again 30 degrees. So keep the protractor on point I, measure the angle in clockwise direction 30 degrees, and the length is 3.84 centimeter. 3.84 centimeter. Let me take here. So this is VR3. Okay, so we got the point G here. Now join point G to J. G to J, and this will be V3. This will be V3 here, right? Let me take VR3 here. VR3. Now from G, just drop a vertical line up to H. This is VF3. Join HI. Join HI here. Okay. So this is beta 3 and this is alpha 3 here. This is alpha 3. So now you can measure the length of V3. So upon measuring the length V3 here, so the expected value for V3 is 6.7 centimeter. 6.7 centimeter. And again we know the ratio V3 by V2 equals to 0.9. V3 by V2 equals to 0.9 here. So V3 by V2 is 0.9. Just do the cross multiplication and get the value of V2 here. So therefore V2 equals to, right here only, V2 equals to 6.9, 6.7 by 0.9, 6.7, that is by 0.9. V2 will be equals to 7.45. 7.45. It is in centimeters. Okay, V2 equals to 7.45 centimeters. In order to draw the first stage, the combined velocity triangle for first stage, just take a locus from point I here. Take a locus from point I and take a locus from point J. U will be same here. U will be same, that is 3 centimeters. U will be same, that is 3 centimeters. Okay. This is CD. Now from, okay, we know the value of okay, beta 2 is known. Do we know the value of VR2? We don't know the value of VR2 here. Okay, V1 is known. Okay, so now V2 is known. V2 is known from here. V2 is known here. Okay, alpha 2 we don't know. Fine. Now you should be very careful here. You have to do the smart work here. Here we know the value of V2 in terms of centimeters, 7.45 centimeters, and we know the value of beta 2. We know the value of angle beta 2. First, keep the protractor on point C and measure the angle beta 2 in counterclockwise direction. Beta 2 is already known to you. Beta 2 is already known to you, 30 degrees. So from here, draw a line 30 degrees. I don't know the length or dimensions of this line. I don't know the dimension of this line. Just take beta 2 equals to 30 degrees. Beta 2 equals to 30 degrees. Now we know the dimension of V2 here. We know the dimensions of V2. V2 is emerging from point D. So that is 7.45. Now by using the divider, just adjust the scale, adjust the the length 7.45 from your scale. Okay. Now keeping the D as fixed point or center point, just cut an arc. The radius of this arc is 7.45 centimeter. V2 equals to 7.45. Okay. So where it cuts, so that will be the location F, or the exact intersection point is the point F here. Okay. So just join F to D. Just join FD here. So this will be the V2. This will be the V2, and this VR2 as it is. This is VR2, point F. Now from point F, drop a vertical line up to E and join DE. So this is VF2 here. This is alpha 2 as it is. Now measure VR2. VR2 in terms of centimeter. VR2 in terms of centimeter, that is 9.9 centimeter. That is 9.9 centimeters. You know the ratio VR2 by VR1 equals to 0.9. Get the value of VR1. So VR1 equals to 9.9 by 0.9. 9.9 by 0.9 after cross multiplication, because we know VR2 by VR1 equals to 0.9, right? So VR1, the value of VR1 is 11 centimeters. 11 centimeters here, right? Okay. Now from here, from point C, beta 1 is known 30 degrees, and even the velocity VR1 is also known. Okay. So from point C, keep the protractor on point C and measure the angle beta 1 in clockwise direction, that is 30 degrees. Okay. So from here, let me draw here. So from point C, okay, from point C, take a line here. So this is a VR1. VR1 equals to 11 centimeters, which is at an angle of beta 1 equals to 30 degrees. So we got the point A here. So from point A, drop a vertical line. From point A, drop a vertical line. This will be PF1. So this is the location for B, point B. Join BC. Join BC. So this is of course the beta 1 and join AD. Join AD here. Join AD. So this will be V1 here. This will be V1. I may not get the correct angles or the lengths because this is the freehand sketch. We'll get the exact location of all the points as per the dimension if we use the geometry box. Okay. So we got the line that is V1. Now measure the length V1 here. Measure the length V1. So the expected value for V1 in terms of centimeter is 13.6 centimeters. Is 13.6 centimeters. You know the velocity V1 in terms of 440, that is in meter per second, 440 meter per second. So the value of velocity in terms of meter per second divided by the value of velocity in the centimeters, that will give you the scale. That will give you the scale here, right? So scale is equal to, the scale ratio is 440 meter per second divided by 13.6 divided by 13.6. So the answer for this is the scale ratio will be 32.35. 32.35. This is a scale ratio. That means 1 centimeter equals to, what does it mean? 1 centimeter equals to 1 centimeter. Let me write here. 1 centimeter equals to 32.35 meter per second. So this is the scale ratio. Now just multiply all the velocity components, all the velocity parameters with the scale ratio 32.35 to get the values in terms of meter per second. Is that clear all of you? Okay? Right. So this is the complete sketch on graph paper. Now let us proceed to calculate the various unknowns which is asked in the numerical. Okay? Which is asked in the numerical. Now what we have assumed initially u as u equals to 3 centimeter. So he asked us to calculate the value of u. Okay? The first bit of the problem is u. U equals to 3 centimeter we have assumed, which is 3 into the scale ratio is 32.35. So the expected value for u is, the product of this is 97.05 meter per second. 97.05 meter per second. So this is the value of blade speed. This is the value for blade speed here, right? So U equals to 3 centimeter assume into the scale is 32.35 meter per second. The product will give you 97.05 meter per second. So this is the blade speed. This is the blade speed. The next bit is he asked us to calculate the diagram efficiency. Diagram efficiency here. So the diagram efficiency is given by the formula. Diagram efficiency is given by the formula 2u into delta VU1 plus delta VU2 divided by V1 square. And of course, we can multiply with 100 here to get the efficiency in terms of percentage. Now here, delta VU1. Here, delta VU1 is the total distance between the total length between VF1 and VF2, that is B to E. From B to E, what is the total length? B to E, it is 18 centimeters. It is 18 centimeters. So if you multiply with the scale ratio, that is 32.35, the value of delta VU1 is in terms of meter per second. It is 582 meter per second. 582. It is in meter per second. So we got the delta VU1 value. Similarly, the delta VU2 is total distance between VF3 and VF4. This is VF4 equals to V2. The total distance between H to J is delta VU2. Delta VU2. So in terms of centimeter, it is 6.3 centimeters. And if you multiply with the scale ratio 32.35, the value of delta VU2 is 204 meter per second. 204 meter per second. Now let us do the substitution. So the diagram efficiency equals to 2 into U value is 97.05 into delta VU1 is 582 meter per second. 582 plus delta VU2 is 204 meter per second divided by V1 is, so already you know the value of V1, 440 square into 100. So this will give you the value of diagram efficiency in terms of percentage. So the expected answer is 78.08%. 78.8%. This is the value for diagram efficiency. Hope this problem is clear. So if you have any doubts, you can put your comment in the comment box, or if you want any question papers, the model question papers or the previous year question papers or the set of question banks or notes, you can send your queries on WhatsApp. So my WhatsApp number is 9886539 Okay. So on 26 we have the turbo machines paper. So till 26, till the completion of your paper, I'll be with you. So if you find anywhere any difficulties, okay, you can put your comment in the comment box or you can contact me. Is that clear? Okay. So in the upcoming classes, I'll be taking the next type of numerical. That means the next derivation, important derivation, the condition for maximum blade efficiency of a 50% reaction turbine or Parsons turbine. So after completion of that, we will go with the few numericals which is asked in the model question papers. We solve that numericals also, and after that we'll go to the model number 4, that is hydraulic turbine. Hardly within 3 to 4 days, I'll complete the hydraulic turbines also, and after that I'll give the gist on centrifugal pump, that is model number 5. Okay. Overall, my intention is to pass each and every student, to help to pass each and every student in the turbo machines subject, because online classes may not be helpful for you, might not be helpful for you. Okay, so that's why I'm preparing the video lectures and now I'm posting on YouTube just for your purpose, for your welfare. Okay, so please don't forget to like the channel, share the channel, and subscribe the channel, and please share this link among your friends and ask them to subscribe. So I want more and more number of subscribers, and so that if I get more number of subscribers, definitely in the next semester I'll post the videos on the heat and mass transfer subject. Okay, that is in the 6th semester. So till then, prepare well, stay safe, stay at home. Thank you and have a nice day.